Good morning. Today we will discuss about the types of data or types of variables. So here we have various types of data we use in data science, and here I have written some types of data. So broadly the data may be either non-numeric and numeric. Non-numeric like textual data and numeric data. So for example, name of the employee or gender or state or country name or district name. So these are the very data which we have, that data belonging to non-numeric data. So another type of data we use in the data science like numeric data, or it may be sometimes quantitative data which is not numeric, quantitative data. So like for example, price of the product or sales, how much is sales, or what is the price or height, weight. So these kind of data where that numbers we use, that is quantitative, we can measure it. For example, height of the person or weight of the person, we can measure it. So we can also do some arithmetic things on the numeric data, whereas on non-numeric data we cannot do any calculations like the distance or that addition or subtraction, or we can, so those things cannot be possible on non-numeric data. So whereas the numeric data we can do any mathematics like arithmetic mathematics. So that is broadly we have numeric data and non-numeric data. Again, for example, if you take numeric data, numeric variables, actually numeric variables, again we have two types of data. So continuous data and discrete data. For example, continuous data, difference between continuous data and discrete data. What is the continuous data? For example, if I draw a graph, voice of the person, so when that person is singing or something, so it is continuous between, for example, t equal to 10, t equal to 100. So from 10 to 100 milliseconds or seconds. For example, if you are speaking something, if you record it, if you draw a graph as per that sound or wave, so it is look like this. So this is here from this point to this point, how many values? It is having infinite number of values. That is a continuous variable. A variable is said to be continuous if it can assume an infinite number of real values. For example, from this point to this point, so there are infinite number of values. So that is a continuous variable. So whereas discrete variable, so when you compare with a continuous variable with discrete variable, so continuous variable is having infinite number of values, whereas discrete variable it is having a limited number of values. For example, this is one point. So for example, number of people in the state, it may be some 1 million, 1.5 million, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 1 million, 2 million. For example, state-wise population, United States. So that number, so discrete values, what is the difference? A discrete value can assume only a finite number of real values within a given interval. So within a given interval. So what is a discrete variable? A discrete variable can assume only a finite number of real values within a given interval. So that is the difference between, so when you compare, when you take a continuous variable, it is having an infinite number of values, whereas if you take a discrete variable, it is having only a limited number of values. That is the difference between continuous variable and discrete variable, whereas non-numeric variable and numeric variable. So it is only textual data, whereas here it is a numeric data like numbers we use. So again we have under the continuous, discrete. So another one is nominal data. Sometimes we need nominal data. So nominal data. Nominal or categorical data. So nominal data, categorical data. Nominal variables, categorical variables. So we have two types of data which are both are under the non-numeric data. So nominal data and categorical data. For example, nominal data, color. So it may be, for example, green, blue, red, etc. So color is a variable and it can be given either green value, blue value, red value, yellow value, any value we can give. So here this is the data, this data belongs to color variable, this is a categorical variable. So similarly nominal. So what is the, as per the definition, categorical? A categorical, this is nominal data, nominal, categorical. A categorical variable or it is a qualitative variable. Just now we have seen it. Categorical, it is also qualitative, which is the text. So refers to a characteristic that cannot be quantifiable. Quantifiable means we cannot measure it. We cannot measure it. So for example, and also we can't do calculations like addition, subtraction. So that is a categorical variable. Nominal or categorical. So another example, gender. Gender, it may be male or female or others. Nowadays we are adding another attribute, another value. So male, female or others. Another example, buy is the computer. Buy is the computer. So whether a person may buy the computer or may not buy the computer. For example, if the person is buying the computer, so we can enter a value yes. If the person is not buying the computer, we can give a value no value. So these are all the categorical data or nominal data. Categorical data or nominal data. So here as per this example, and again another type of variable, categorical, nominal, ordinal variables. Ordinal variables, marker. Another type of data is so next one, ordinal variables. Ordinal variables. Ordinal variables. Ordinal variables. So this is also will come under the nominal data. For example, as per the for example position or a rank. So for example in teaching we have professor, for example position or designation of a person. So it may be professor, it may be associate or assistant professor. So these are the values, and it is the variable name is designation. Designation is a variable, and the designation we have, these are the possible values. So this kind of data is ordinal. So ordinal means there is an order. So first, for example, professor is the highest level, and associate professor next level, then assistant professor at the last below. So this is an order. Sometimes we can write from top to bottom, or we can write bottom to top. And another example, rank. In the military or in the exam test, the students can be given a rank based on their marks. So that is also will come under the ordinal variables. Ordinal variables. As per the definition, what it is? An ordinal variable is a variable whose values are defined by an order. See, so here it is, order is important. Order among the data. Order among the data. So what is an order? So an order relation between different categories. So variables, so that is just, so this is an example, designation or a position. Designation or a position of a person. So this is the data is so professor, associate professor, assistant professor, rank, first rank. First rank, second rank, third rank, and so on. So here the first rank is at the first level, and below it second, third, and so on. So we arrange the data in the order of their percentage marks. So this is a variable. Variable is rank is a variable type, ordinal type. So these are the types of data, ordinal types. Numeric we have seen, continuous we have seen, discrete we have seen. Okay, examples again we will see one by one. So example, for example, again nominal variables. So level of education. So it may be school level, high school level, or college level. Next, size of population, type of political regime, and level of voting turnout, direction of ideology. So these are the different variables. So how we give the names, naming the variables. So values, okay. For example, variables we have name of the person, SSN number, class, and major. So for example, name is John's, SSN number, class is senior type, then major, political science, and GPA 3.12, and candidate. So this is what type of data. For example, if you think what is the type of this data, it will come under the nominal type, and this type will come under the this is also, actually it is a numeric but not a quantitative data. It is also will come under the nominal type, and class is another variable. So senior is the value, this also nominal type, data type. This is nominal, this is the value, continuous variable. This is the continuous variable, that too quantitative. This is last variable under the categorical data. So when you give this data, so this data is containing all types of varieties of data. So qualitative variables, qualitative. For example, student major degree, it may be political science, history, or biology. So again another one, type of resume, free. So these are all the qualitative variables, qualitative data, qualitative variables. So these are the qualitative variables and their values, qualitative. Next example. Quantitative. Next one is qualitative, next quantitative. Quantity which is measurable. A variable is a quantitative and examples like all the numbers, you use only numbers, not textual. So numeric data we use here. So GPA, so it may be 3.12 or something. So these are the numeric data. Numeric data, that too quantitative data. Quantitative data. So a spreadsheet. So it is having, so this is all the data. Quantitative data. Nominal variables. Nominal data. So nominal variables, nominal data. So this is all the nominal. Only we use textual, not quantitative data. Ordinal variables. Ordinal variables, like I said, some order is there among the data. So it is low to high or sometimes high to low. So it depends on the situation, we write it either top to bottom or bottom to top. So again we have, these are the examples for the ordinary variables. Ordinary variables. So again here we have ordinal type. Ordinal. So this is numeric alignment. So other type of variable is interval scaled. So there is a minimum value, maximum value. Between the values we take the data. So that is interval. So for example, minimum, maximum. So between those we take the values. So example, level of, degree of, number of, amount of. So range, sometimes 17 to 24, 25 to 34. These are all the interval scaled data type. Next, ratio. Another type of data is ratio. We know that ratio type. For example, A by B. So A is a quantitative data and B is another quantitative data. So when you divide A by B, so these kind of data is ratio type data, ratio variables. We call it ratio variable. So a ratio variable, a variable measured at a ratio level is an interval variable. And but in addition, one can approximately divide. So this one, divide one value by another one. So that is for example A by B. This kind of data is ratio variables data. So examples for ratio variables, examples. So size by number of children or age. So this is an example for ratio variables data. So these are all the various types of data. Thank you.